If I could sit down with every seller before they listed, there's several things that I would tell them, honestly. Things that I can share with them would save them stress, money, heartache, and those are the things that I want to share with you today. I'm Rebecca Nadelka, your realtor mom with eXp Realty. First thing that I think it's super important for sellers to realize is the process takes longer than you think. If you say, I want to sell my house now, and here's when keys are going to get handed over, that can realistically take 3 or 4 months. Sure, we can get your house on the market within a week, but it's going to be a lot more pressure for you. If you're calling me today, I'm guessing that you've probably already done some of that legwork to get your house ready because you don't want to call me until you've done everything that you need to do. What I'm telling you is it's better for you to call your realtor first before you go spend a bunch of money on projects, things that you think need to be done, when in all reality, they might not be. Reaching out to a realtor as soon as you think, you know what, I want to sell my house this year. Perfect. You call me and now we're going to get together and we're going to talk. When is your ideal time to be on the market this year? If you tell me, it's February, I'd really like to be ready and listed in April. All right. The next month and a half, we're going to get your house prepped. I'm going to walk through and I'm going to show you the things that I think are going to bring the most value for the least amount of money. I'm not asking you to totally renovate your kitchen. I might ask you to take a sponge and wipe some of the marks off the walls. I might ask you to fix a broken window blind. I might ask you to take all the clothes that you have piled up in your kid's room on the floor and put them away. Things like that. Those are inexpensive things that can be done. Maybe we want to do some painting. I don't know, but my goal is to have you get your house ready, putting in the least amount of money, but getting the biggest bang for the buck on the things that we do. So now we've got our prep time. Then we're going to be active on the market. So let's just say we get it prepped in 3 weeks. And we decided, we're good. We can go, we're ready in March instead of April. Our goal, what we hope for, is that we're going to get that under contract pretty quickly within a week. But the reality is, might take 30 days, might take 40 days. Pricing your house correctly, hopefully, will shorten that amount of time, but might take 30 days. Now we're under contract. We're going to have between 21 and 45 days to close, depending on the lender, depending on how quickly they can process the loan. Are you FHA or VA? That might take a little bit longer for the FHA or VA appraisal. So the reality is we know that we've got at least 30 to 45 days to close the property. We've probably got at least a week to get everything with the contract put together and under contract. Might be 30 days. And we've got 2 to 4 weeks to prep. So the reality is it takes a few months to get your property sold. It's not, I need to move. If you called me today and say it's February 1st and you're like, I need to be moved by March 1st. Okay. Are we giving your house away at an investor special where some investor is going to come in and pay cash and close in 10 days, but you're going to take way less than value? Probably not. So rather than thinking, I've got a month, that's a long time, it's going to take that long just to close your property, let alone get the photos, get all the prep done, do the marketing that we need to do to truly get you the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. So know that it's never too early to reach out to a realtor. I'd rather you call me 6 months early than call me when you've got to be out of your place in 3 to 4 weeks, because now I'm not really sure how we're going to get that done. I will fight to get everything done as quickly as I possibly can, but there are just some things that we can't control, and part of that is the lending process. So that's number one. The timeline is longer than you think. Number two, your emotions will be tested. I can assure you, having strangers walk through your house, critiquing your home, not liking the wallpaper that you picked out for this room and the paint for this room. They don't like the color carpet. They would have done this instead of what you did. That gets emotional. But keep in mind, they're only discussing what they think they want to see in their home. Don't get offended by a lowball offer. There are people out there that think they're going to get the best deal. Your house is priced right. If you take the advice and you go with the pricing strategy that your realtor gives you and a lowball offer comes in, don't be offended. It's just their strategy to try to get a house for cheap. The buyer might not know your position and they might think that they're going to get it for a steal. Don't take the feedback that people leave personally. We ask for feedback so we know what buyers think about your house. A realtor will share things that are important to the sale of your house. Don't let that offend you. Don't let that hurt your feelings. It's okay. You love your house and that's what matters. Everybody else, they might have a different style. They might have a different color palette that they like. It's okay. Just know that your emotions are going to be tested throughout the process. Probably the most important thing you can do is recognize that this is probably going to happen. Call your realtor, use them as a buffer. Don't feel like you have to absorb all this on your own. A realtor is there to try to help calm your nerves, get you to not take everything personally, and talk you through the process. So again, it's an emotional process because it's your home. Let us as realtors buffer that for you and try to make it less emotional. Number 3, this is an important one. First impressions are everything when selling your house. If you have a buyer come into your house and it smells like animals everywhere, like they just can't get that smell, that is going to stick with them because in their head, well, I've got to get rid of that smell. Same thing. You've got this massively strong air freshener. Buyers are probably going to think, what are they trying to cover up? They're probably going to decide within the first 30 seconds of walking in the door whether they're remotely interested or they've already written it off because that first impression, they just can't get out of their head. Have your exterior, the curb appeal. We talk about curb appeal. In the winter, if it's gray, dreary outside, have your walkways shoveled. Put a pop of color with lights or whatever that you can do to kind of bring that sense of home and warm feeling. The first room that they see, make sure that it's a room that's very presentable. You don't want to have them walk in your entryway and see a basket full of shoes overflowing and wet water spots all over the floor and just a bunch of dirt from outside. Have your entryway cleaned up. If you walk straight into your kitchen, have your kitchen picked up. Whatever the first area of your home they're going to see, you want that to be incredibly presentable so their first impression is, wow, this is a really nice house and I can see myself living in it. That's our goal. And first impressions really do matter. And you only get one chance to make that first impression. Number 4, every buyer will find something wrong. No house is going to be perfect for any buyer. You're going to get them asking for an inspection. I promise you, your house can be 5 years old, and that inspection report is probably going to be 30 to 50 pages long. That's okay. We are asking inspectors to find everything that's wrong, point it out, so as buyers, they can make an educated decision on what's important. Is it a safety related item where I've got little kids and this can really cause harm? Or is it that piece of siding on the back of the house is a little bit loose and falling off? Okay, well, that's fixable. It's going to be on the report though. The electrical outlet isn't grounded. Okay, that's a safety item. So maybe that's something that that buyer's agent is going to tell their buyers. Probably want to ask to have that fixed. The point is, no inspection is going to come back clean, and that's okay. Don't panic. We will work through it. The buyers have skin in the game now. They paid for an inspection, and it might be right for them to walk away, and that's okay. Somebody else will come in and maybe they're a handy person. And they're like, oh, those things, no problem. I can fix all the electric myself. The plumbing, I can clean that up. And yeah, this inspection report doesn't concern me. Every house is going to have issues. I bet you if you sent an inspector into a brand new built house, they'll even find issues there. Don't panic. Every issue is fixable, unless the house is condemned, of course. But even mold, super easy to remediate. A little bit, I mean, it's a little bit of money, but you can ask the sellers to remediate it. Just because there's mold in the house, realistically, every house probably has mold somewhere or has at one point. So again, it's fixable. It's things that we can work through. Don't just panic with every little thing that you see. When you're looking over that inspection and the buyer shares the report with you, focus on the big things: the roof, the foundation, the safety items. Yes, electric falls under safety, but let's just say the inspection report pointed out some outlets that weren't GFCI protected. And the ones on the first floor living room, they weren't grounded. There might be 7 electrical items on that list, and it looks like a lot. Versus the other house had an inspection report that had a big crack in the foundation. And based on the inspection report, it's a crack that is compromising the foundation walls, and they're starting to like cave in a little bit. That's only 1 item on the report versus 7 electrical. Look at what the issue is itself versus the size of the report, the length of the report, and things like that. A foundation issue, though, it is also fixable. We just have to determine how bad is it. Some foundation issues, I would tell my buyers, you want to run. Those are like pretty pricey fixes. Again, fixable, but it's going to be costly. Whereas another one might just be, we need to seal some settling cracks and, do some excavating outside if there's, the foundation, the outside of the house, the mulch and the topsoil's all slanting and everything's flowing into the house instead of being raised higher and slanting away. Those kind of things. That's an easy fix. So just remember, no house is going to be perfect. If you're the seller, don't panic. There's things that we can take care of. The buyer might ask for a few things, but ultimately, they're not coming in and asking for a 40-page inspection report to all be fixed. It's not realistic. Hopefully, the realtor says, hey, that's kind of a lot to ask for and based on the price that you're paying. So we'll work through those things. Number 5. Unfortunately, the market doesn't care about your feelings. The market, the average buyer, they don't care what you put into it. They don't care what you paid for it. If the market value on your house is $300,000 and you just put a $25,000 upgrade in your kitchen, market doesn't care. They care what the value is today with that kitchen the way that it is. You're probably not going to put $25,000 in and get an extra $25,000 out. That's just, it's not an even trade when you do repairs. Now, a roof, on the other hand, that's a pretty high value item. Buyers do look at, well, the roof is 30 years old, so I'm going to have to put 20 grand into a new roof. They might offer 20 grand less because they know they need a new roof. The market only cares what a buyer is willing to pay. Your house is only worth what a buyer is willing to pay. We can have comparables that all support $300,000. But if we show the house for 30 days, 45 days, and our highest offer is 290, that's all your house is worth to the market. And we can't pull more money out of buyers that aren't willing to pay it. So keep in mind that the market doesn't care what you put into it, how much you paid for it, or what you want to get out of it. Ultimately, the price is based on reality in the market, not on your feelings. So listen to your realtor. They're not emotionally attached like you are, and they are going to try to get you to understand what the market says about your house. Number 6, as a seller, you need someone in your corner. You need someone who's going to tell you the truth, not just what you want to hear. You need to have someone that's going to help protect you from making emotional decisions. Remember, this is your house. Maybe it's the house that your kids grew up in. Maybe it's the house that you and your spouse bought together for the first time. Maybe it's the house that your aged parents moved in with you and they've now gone to a nursing home or passed, or whatever the case may be. We're going to try to protect you. Realtor will help you from making emotional decisions based on things that have occurred for you in that house, or, how you're tied to it and what you think. Realtors have done this before. We know different strategies. We know different things in the market to look for. We understand when buyers ask questions, what they're trying to get out. Like, they might try to come at it from a different perspective to get to what they ultimately want. We're familiar. Realtors know how to maneuver through those situations. And so having a realtor in your corner can make all the difference. We laugh that a lot of sellers will say, "Oh, I can sell this on my own. It's no problem." Ask that seller how they feel 30 days in, when they've got random people coming into their house that are knocking on their door because there's a for sale by owner sign outside, or they're calling you at all hours, asking questions. They're going to call you and say, "Well, we want this fixed, we want this fixed, we want this fixed," because you're not represented. If they're working with a buyer's agent, when I would work with a buyer and trying to buy a for sale by owner, I'm going to do everything I can to talk them down, way more than if they have an agent representing them, because they're being taken care of. Sellers are taken care of by their agents. So having an agent in your corner is huge. Yes, anybody can sell a house on their own, but they're not going to have the skills, the strategies, the marketing, and the negotiation that your realtor will have. So as a seller, remember what you should know before you list your house. You want to start early. You want to expect a ton of emotions. We get it. Emotional process. Make sure you prep your house. Preparation matters. Don't panic at the inspections. We've got you. We'll get through them. Not a problem. Price your house based on reality. Don't let your emotions get involved in your pricing strategy. And get somebody in your corner, someone who's going to have your best interests and take care of all the little things that are going to give you a headache that we're trained to do. Next week, we're going to talk about Zillow and why it's wrong, and how to know what your home is actually worth. I'm Rebecca Nadelka, your realtor mom, and I will keep this process simple, smooth, and sold.